Hey, everybody. Welcome to Biz Chat. We are back. It is November 13th. Oh, man, that
How
means
did
it's
that happen?
Friday the 13th. Well,
Oh,
hello, everyone. I'm still your coach, Michelle, along with the amazing coach, Noelle. And each week we bring you topics of strategic insight and encouragement to what we call the inner game and the outer game of faith-based entrepreneurship. So if you are on our chat, we'd love to know, where are you joining us from? Let us know. Say hello. Welcome to everybody in Stitcher, Castbox, Apple iTunes, and Spotify. So if you like to listen on those platforms, we always upload right to there after we do our live show, so you can catch us there. Today, after long last, we have been telling you about Bev, our guest Bev. She just hit $100,000, 100K sales in October after really just buckling down and getting serious this January. So we can't wait to tell you that story.
Yeah,
Woo-hoo.
and going into the holidays too, so.
Yes, she's rocking and rolling here as she's moving into fourth quarter. So we'll bring you Bev in just a little bit. But we wanted to also let you know that our challenge, What's in Your Hand challenge, is starting November 17th. We're so excited. So the doors are open. Go ahead and register. It's open there. I'm going to just pop that baby right here on our feed.
The address.
The address. There you go. Did that go? It's not going. Let's see. So if you're not here live on Facebook, you can go ahead and do the HTTP www.faithoverfearbizchicks.com/challenge, and the doors are open for the challenge. The challenge leads straight into Roadmappers. You can choose Roadmapper level 1 or 2, depending on where you're at with your starting your business or ministry. So Coach Noelle, what excites you that we're launching back into challenge mode and Roadmapper mode?
I think that a few things excite me. Just the chance to continue to teach the material, because I think a lot of our mentors taught us to find the hole in the market and fill the hole in the market. And I feel that that's what this challenge does. So I think that especially for female entrepreneurs, I feel like the material that we teach is the missing link that has kept a lot of us, including myself, slowed down in my business. So I'm super excited about the material itself. And the other thing I'm really excited about is that we got a little more organized this time. We actually have some ads running, and we're going to have an email sequence. It's I'm just really excited about expanding the reach,
Yes, super
to help more
exciting.
women.
Speaking of expanding the reach, we just wanted to serve women of anybody who's interested in just unlocking some mindsets, whether or not you plan on going into entrepreneurship later or not. I think that's where our hearts are, is we just want to see people out of mental lockdown or permission seeking, or I don't know what I'm doing and I don't know how to get there in whatever you're doing in life. So we started a group last week. I think we introduced that to you, a Facebook group called Atmosphere of Grace. And already I think we've got over 100 people in there, just dropping content to help you guys get just mindsets that help you have peace. Right now, we're just kind of focusing on peace through the holiday season, right, Coach Noelle? Getting in a place of rest, so that when we have the circumstances or those people that might be a little challenging or difficult or rubbing us kind of the wrong way, we kind of have that place that we're operating from, that atmosphere of grace that we bring with us wherever we go.
Yeah.
So hop in there if you are thinking that you would love to just connect with a group of people who are doing the same thing. So those are a couple of announcements we have, but chat time. How are you doing, Coach Noelle? What are you drinking?
I had my weed tea earlier. I finished it. I had a client early this morning, so I drank my weed tea during that time. And now I'm drinking my probiotic Kool-Aid type thing. I'm not sure what to call it.
Yeah, a little more tasty than your dandelion tea. Coach Noelle is cleaning out from the inside out.
Yes.
I, on the other hand, I'm just coffeeing it up right now. Need some caffeine to get through the Friday. It's been a busy week. My week has definitely been a little more challenging. Our daughter off at college is, I think, maybe getting a bout of mono back. I'm not sure.
Oh,
I know.
yeah.
When you can't be mama right there, this is a new experience. This whole kids leaving the nest, you can't quite be in the doctor's office doing the thing. So it's taken some time away from me. It's set some things back for even our launch for the challenge. But Noelle's been super gracious with them. Like, I just can't get to it. So it's just, that's been a little bit of my week where some things did slide a little bit because that personally was just in our space. And
because God and family comes first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. How about you? Any challenges or ups and downs, highs and lows of the entrepreneur life?
It's kind of been, Michelle knows this already. You've heard this already, but I actually have had kind of a reoccurrence of Epstein-Barr, which is from mono. I got mono when I was in high school. And so just been some pretty intense fatigue this week. But the thing that shifted was instead of fighting it, I just rested more. Like I gave myself more time to rest, and then I'm just able to do things as I'm really grateful this is in the morning because by the evening I'm kind of
I can't quite make a sentence go.
So yeah, so I'm working with my naturopath and getting some labs done and stuff. So we have a plan in place. It's just going to take some time.
Yeah, and I think that seems to be what I'm hearing from a lot of people who have autoimmune issues right now. Something just kind of is really tanking the autoimmune system. So I'm not sure.
Things are flaring up. Well, and I know I started taking some natural medicine that flushes it from my system, which makes it looks like. So really, I shouldn't say it flared up. It's being flushed. Okay. But while it's being flushed, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Totally makes sense. So yeah, it makes for fun Marco Polos. We usually get pretty giddy in the evening. So
a little punchy.
Yeah, we get a little punchy. And we pretty much stay in touch daily and often, and it's such a huge blessing. And that's part of what we want to see growing out of this roadmapper group after you go through the 3-day challenge. Like, this is the community to get into, to have those relationships where you can find somebody to buddy up with and run together, because community and coaching, like, those are the two wins, right? It's to get to the other side. And so we've both been praying for a buddy, and we got our buddy. We want to see other people get their buddies or their teams together, because it's so much fun to have somebody where you're like, yeah, what are you making for dinner? I have no idea. As well as, what are we going to do about our email sequence?
So true.
It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. We just hope you catch that as we go live every week. That's what we want for you guys too.
Yeah.
Okay, so without further ado, let us bring on our amazing Bev Schweigert. There she is! Woohoo! I'm so excited to have you. We've been waiting with bated breath to have the amazing Bev. Bev, tell everybody just a little bit about you.
Oh boy, let's see here. I've been married for quite a while. Let me think here how many years. My husband and I have 2 grown daughters. They are 30 and 26. They're both married. And we have a grandson who is 3.5, who is my joy. He's Josiah. So he is one of my biggest whys of my business is being able to spend time with him whenever I want to. So I work my business around him a lot.
Oh, good. Yeah,
isn't that precious? Bev, I have kind of gotten a front row seat to your journey through another community we belong to. And you sort of became the darling or sweetheart of this group. We just all started really rooting for you. It was just kind of amazing how this all unfolded. And I think part of it was your vulnerability to say, like, I haven't been doing what I think I'm supposed to be doing. And this kind of unlocking, like we talked about, mental lockdown was just sort of like, whoa, no, I can't stay here anymore if I'm actually going to make this go. So it was really, really fun to watch. But like, give us a little backstory of where this all started. I think you said something about selling your husband's woodwork.
Woodworking, correct. Yes. Yeah, he does. He has done woodworking on the side and gone to craft shows and things like that for years and years. I do. I have a little missions team called Missions Possible, and for fundraisers, I hold like three craft shows a year. So I plan them, I get the vendors and things like that. So he started being one of my vendors for it. So he started going to all these craft shows and stuff. In 2018, we decided that I was going to try to find some place to sell his items online. Well, I wasn't sure if he should go Etsy, if he should go with a website or what. So I started doing some searching to find how to actually sell online because I didn't have a clue.
Okay.
Plus, I wanted another avenue to be able to fund mission trips. I actually had come back from my second mission trip to Peru, and I knew I wanted to continue going back, so I needed to raise more funds. So this was an idea for me to be able to sell his things, maybe make a little extra money doing that. So I did a search, and I found Allison Prince's program and joined it. So I started with him putting his items on different deal sites. From there, they started going really well. So I thought I would try something else. So I found these little wooden kids' toys that were magnetic that would go together. Got some samples. Josiah just loved them. I mean, he was only 2 at the time, and he could put them all together and figure out how to put the airplane all together. So it was really cool to see him playing with them. And I'm like, oh, I could sell these. They really do work the way they should be. So I started putting those on deal sites. Well, then somebody said, well, what, you should sell some jewelry or something and use that to fund your mission trips. I had actually gotten some little tiny wooden crosses the last time I was in Peru that a gentleman had made, and he made me 100 of them. I met him one of the first days we were on our trip. I told him that I would love to have 100 of them, and he's like, well, my grandfather makes these by hand. How long are you here? Well, I said, we'll be there for 10 days. So he met me at the airport with a bag of these little Peruvian crosses that they make out of mahogany. So I'm thinking, maybe I can sell those on a website. So that's where I started into Allison's program and learning how to sell, finding out what I needed to do. So I started with a website then in January and started from there.
And this is January of 2019. So you had sort of now some experience under your belt of selling and shipping and kind of getting in the groove. And 2019 hits, and bam, you go right to the top. No, not so much.
No. Not at all.
Not quite. So take us on a journey of kind of what happens, because I think this happens to a lot of entrepreneurs. We get some early success. We start seeing some traction. We start, getting a little bit more knowledge and working knowledge. And then we start running to a certain place and it doesn't quite work out. So walk us through kind of what happened at that point.
I just can't wait to hear this.
So I started looking at different jewelry. I found several different suppliers that I liked. So I started ordering samples, and they were coming in, and I'm like, oh, these are beautiful. These are awesome. I love the quality. I love everything about them. So I put them on my website. And I'm very detail oriented, and I'm creative. I'm artistic. So I started working on my website, and I wanted this website to be perfect. So I'm putting all these items on my website. I made it go live. I had social media. So I had a Facebook page and I had an Instagram page. But I didn't really push too much towards it. I'd have it on there every once in a while, but that was it, because I was still working on my website and it had to be perfect before I could to see it. So finally, I think it was the end of March, I decided I was going to do a Facebook party. So oh goodness, I struggled so hard with this. So this was, 2 months in, and I had a Facebook party, and I did it in a group. I made a, event, and it went fantastic. I sold like $400, I think. I was ecstatic. But they were all my friends,
Mhm.
So, and I had a couple people that were new followers, but the majority of them were all my friends. So I did pretty good. I sold things. So I was like, oh, I can do this. I can do this. So, but I still didn't follow through. I still kept posting things on Facebook and Instagram. I was starting to get some sales, maybe $50 to $100 a month. Nowhere near what I wanted to be. I wasn't really making any money because everything was going into my fees of having a website and having a shipping station and things like that. But then I decided that I was getting email names, but I never sent an email.
We have a key here. A resource you might not have been using.
Yeah. And even though I was taught that emails are gold and that I should be using my emails, I wasn't doing. I didn't know what to write. I felt like I was bothering them. I thought, oh, that's silly. They're going to unsubscribe and then I won't have anybody on my list.
It's like you're in my head.
Yes.
And you were saying too, I think that you're pricing things pretty low. Like you're feeling like, I'm not sure anybody even really wants this. And now I'm bothering them with an email on top of trying to sell them something. And so kind of explain that mindset, that headspace, like how you got yourself out of like this heavy place of, I'm not sure what I'm doing.
Yeah, I felt like I had to be, the only way they'd ever buy from me is if I was the lowest priced person there. I kept thinking, if they get this necklace, they're going to want to pay, I mean, I only paid this much for it. Why would they pay this much, double that or whatever? And I kept forgetting that, if I'm going to run a business, I need to price them high enough so that I can run that business. And then I started seeing the same exact items that I was selling priced way higher by my competitors, and they were getting sales. And I'm like, wow, why are they getting sales? They're getting $25 for this necklace, and I'm trying to sell it for $12, and it's like, and not making any money on it, just barely getting them to my website idea. So I was encouraged to bump up my prices, and I did.
Okay, but what happened? You said your husband gave you some tough news in January of 2020. What happens for a lot of us, we file our taxes. And what did your hubby let you know?
He let me know that this was way more than just a hobby. If you make that big of a deficit in your first year, it is considered a hobby. It is not a business. So I was struggling big time.
Wow. And you showed a big loss.
I did show a very big loss.
So after all this excitement and you're like, I'm starting to roll, I made a few $100s. Your hubby delivers the news of, so sorry to tell you. You got to change something. So this is January 2020, pre-COVID, like where like she's like it's sink or swim, right?
Exactly. And he has always been extremely supportive of me. I've been in a lot of different businesses. I've done direct sales and MLMs and all kinds of different things because I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. But I always felt like I was working for somebody else. If I had an upline or somebody recruited me, then my hard work was shown because they got paid too. So I sometimes had this really backwards mindset of, I had to produce for them, not for me. But I had to show them that I could do this. So I was really into this mindset of doing well for them. So this was more of, this is my mindset of I had to do it for me. And I had to decide that I was good enough to make money, to do good for others. And that's what my whole goal when I began was to be able to do good for others, to be able to go back to Peru, be able to send money to Peru and other places, other mission places. And if I wasn't making money, I couldn't do that. So I really had that turnaround and that light bulb go off in January that I needed to be smart. I needed to be smart.
So good. So this is like this is your moment. Like the angels were singing. So you buckled down, and I remember this moment where you kind of went vulnerable here with the group, and you were like, I've got to do this, guys. I've got to figure this out. This isn't going the way I wanted it to. So you launched. You figured some things out. And the one I think that you mentioned to me was I needed to give. I needed to always have a spirit of giving. So maybe walk us through how this sort of, new found purpose in January of 2020 just sort of unlocked some steps for you.
Yeah, just that I knew I wasn't able to give. We had been living, I worked for 15 years as an office manager, and I quit that job in order to, my girls were both married by then, and we didn't have to have my income. So we were living on my husband's income. Mm-hmm. And I felt like we were just struggling to get by. So I wanted to be able to do something so that we could give more.
Mm-hmm. And that kind of translated into how you started creating your offers, right? So you shifted from I'm trying to sell people to I'm trying to give. This spirit of giving I'm going to translate into my offers and my whole demeanor, and your whole system started to birth out of the spirit of giving. So just let us walk us through kind of what you started tangibly doing that you weren't doing before, especially with the resource that you just discovered, this email list.
Yes. So the first thing I did was January. I decided that I was going to send a couple emails a week. So I had to figure out what I wanted to send. I didn't want to be spamming them with all kinds of sales. So I decided to do a give sequence. So Mondays, I found a resource called PLR, Private Label Release, where I could purchase information and then give it to my followers. So I've always been into coloring pages. So I figure I would look for some Christian coloring pages. So I found one that had, for $17, I got 40 cross coloring pages. So I purchased those. So then I set those up that every Monday I sent out an email to my tiny little list for a freebie where they could get on my website and download a Christian coloring page. Thank you on the bottom of that page, then I would say, and if you've read this far, you deserve 30% off on such and such. So that way I could track whether or not they were actually opening those.
Reading and opening, yeah.
So the coloring page was totally free. So I had that and I sent that out on Mondays. Well, I started getting people downloading that free coloring page, plus they were buying. So then I'm like, okay, so what else can I do? So I thought, well, I'm going to start on Fridays actually doing a deal, giving them a sale. So I did that. So on Fridays, I actually tried to come up with a different sale item every Friday. So then I was sending, by the middle of January, sending 2 emails a week, excuse me. Mm-hmm. And that was going well. Oh my goodness, I started getting sales. And I started coordinating those emails with my Instagram, with my Facebook, and really pressing and getting the information out there more. So then I decided I wanted to give something more. I started doing devotionals, and I was doing them live on Tuesday nights. And I had some people watching me, but I also had some people watching the replay. And I thought, somebody said, well, I can't make your lives. You should just send those in an email. I'm going, who's going to want to read my devotional? So I thought, what the heck? So I wrote them down because I just kind of did them on the spur. I didn't really have anything written down. So I actually wrote them down and I started sending those on Wednesdays. So the same thing with Monday. They could just read this devotional, but at the bottom, I would have a little blurb that, so for going this far, you can have a discount on such and such. And it would be different from the Monday one. It was only good for 12 hours. So now I was giving them a Monday give, a Wednesday give, and then a Friday sale. And I just kept nurturing those constantly. I started getting emails back from people thanking me for the devotion and how I did that. And it was so heartwarming. And I was just like, and then they'd say, oh, and I got this necklace too. Thank you so much. And the majority of all my jewelry is Christian based, different crosses, hearts, all kinds of different things. And I really try to put some kind of a Christian meaning between every single piece on my website. Every single item on my website has a scripture below it. And it's, Blessed Be is the name of my boutique. And everything about it is Christian based. And I make sure that is what my whole system is about.
So you were doing this for a couple of months,
yes.
And there was not a lot coming through, right? You were putting out all of this content, and you were kind of got to this point where you're like, I don't know what else to do. I think I might just give up. Is that true?
Well, that was actually more before that is when I felt like that.
Okay.
Because once I started doing that, my followers started increasing. I could really see my numbers coming up. I started doing some contests, share this for a $25 gift card, join, like my Facebook page for this. I also started a group. Instead of just a Facebook page, I started a Facebook group, and I called it Blessed Be Bunch. And I put that out there, and now that group is more of a fun group where I tell jokes and we tell stories, and I share different things, but I also have special sales just for them. So it's a way of a more personalized thing, because most of the time a page is just somebody likes it and they just happen to see your response. But with a group, everybody sees what's going on in that group. So when I started the group, things really started to grow a lot more. I also started using influencers. I started contacting.
Oh no.
Bev says she lived in the country, so every once in a while we might just blurp out for a little bit. So if you guys have questions, I see there might be one in the comments. Go ahead and pop them.
Sorry about that.
Oh, she's back. But yeah, anybody who has questions for Bev, go ahead and pop them in the comments and let us know, because we'll go ahead and try to answer those too.
If we freeze up again, we'll answer questions.
Yeah, so you were kind of kicking in gear. You were seeing some growth, but maybe not quite the sales yet. Still at 2 months, right, of doing all of this, of stuff. And you've got a couple of fans here. Amanda and Lori say hello, love you.
Yeah.
Hello. So you're in this place where you're seeing growth, but not necessarily sales yet after two months of being faithful and doing and kind of cultivating the give kind of side of things. So tell us what happened at the end of March.
Well, COVID hit.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
I had a choice of either slowing down because I looked like I was greedy, or giving people a different place to be able to purchase items. And I really pushed the gift giving, helping people feel good about themselves in this time, sending a gift, trying to help others. So I really, that's the way I started pushing it more. And I just vamped up more offers. Instead of just having the little note at the bottom of my page and a one deal on Friday, I started having more offers and just putting them out more. And I made a challenge of myself in April that I was going to do an offer every single day. I was going to have some kind of offer out there every single day. And it was hard because, I went from only doing 3 emails a week to having to come up with 7 ideas every day. But what I did was I had been introduced to a Trello board beforehand, and I did keep track of everything, but not completely. And then I started thinking, how am I going to keep track of all this? If I start having offers, I'm going to duplicate them. I'm not going to remember what I did where. So I started a Trello board listing the days of the week and what my offer was. Excuse me.
Yeah, and so you hit 10K in April, $10,000 after all this work. April comes and bam, 10K in a month. Congratulations.
Yeah.
After COVID, you hit 10K. Like all that work still paid off. And so April was amazing for you. And then you just kept going.
It just kept going. It just kept multiplying. And I just kept adding offers. So I decided if I can do one offer a day, maybe I can do 2 offers a day. So I increased them even more, and I just kept being more coordinated, more conscious about what I was doing. I was doing more giving as well, making sure that my customers always had, I was constantly posting encouraging things, things like that besides just the offers. And the more you're seeing, the more you're seeing. So it really helped. So March was my 10K, and then in July I hit 50,000 in sales.
Wow.
And then in October I hit my 100,000 in sales. So, and it actually ended up being from March to October, 8-month was 100,000 in sales.
That is so incredible, you guys. After coming into 2020 with her husband giving her the bad news, babe, you're not making any money. 10 months later, she says, I'm not taking it. I am going to do this. And she did. And so we just hope you're inspired by this story and to know that, you know what, we all start somewhere. We've all had a journey. We've all had these things that have gone on in the past that are shaping us and preparing us for something fresh and new. And sometimes it's a long journey to get there. But there are some things that we can be doing to really systematically move the needle. And so we're going to be hopping into Road Mappers next. All of our Road Mappers, Bev is going to share her Trello system and how she actually keeps track of these offers and her give and offer kind of system where it's a pair. So we're going to hop in there, and that is kind of what we're inviting you into with the challenge. You know, you can learn about the Road Mapper
group. You want the details of how she did it.
Getting a little bit more into those nuggets. So Bev, we thank you so much.
This was so wonderful. It's so wonderful to meet you.
You too. Me too.
Yeah, we can't wait to have Bev back, you guys. She's probably going to be helping us out in level 2. So if you've already kind of done the things that we've talked about in level 1 these last 6 weeks, and you're like, hey, I'm kind of ready to move forward with my offers, we're going to be leaning into how to schedule them out and get them out to the right places and the right audience that fits your ideal client, as well as the offer that you want to put out. So come on in to Road Mappers and to our challenge. Again, it's faithoverfearbizchicks.com/challenge. Coach Noelle, any final questions for?
Oh, I have so many, but I think they're probably more appropriate for Road Mappers. But just, here is one, Bev.
Okay.
How did you manage kind of the mindset stuff around all that increase? And did you find that? Because I think a lot of women, me included, feel like if I really up my game, then my family and everything else is going to slide. Like, how did you navigate all that?
One thing I did was it was really tough. When I first started growing, I was up till 1 o'clock in the morning packing orders. And trying to get everything ready, and these orders were coming in, and I couldn't do it all. I was burning myself out, and I kept, Allison kept telling us to hire out, and, but I'm afraid to. I have to be the one touching everything. I finally decided, no, I've got to do it. So one of the best things about this is I've been able to bless 2 other people in hiring them. I couldn't think of who would want to help me. So I put a comment on Facebook and I said, hey, is anybody local willing to come to my house, pick up jewelry, repackage it for me in my little packages and bring it back to me? And I had a friend who contacted me, who her husband, was only working every other week with COVID and everything else. Okay. And she contacted me and I hired her. And she comes every day, gets packages and sends them out. So I'm helping them. She's helping me. And then I have my daughter who was unemployed. She came and now she does my packaging every single day. So so I'm able to pay her as well. And she packages all my orders, and that's totally off my plate. So now all I have to concentrate on is the marketing, and they do everything else.
Perfect.
Very good. Very good. Well, guys, you can find Bev at blessbeboutique.com and go check her stuff out. I'm sure as we're coming into the holidays, Bev is going to have a bunch of deals going on. So hop on in, check out her website, and find some wonderful gifts for the holidays to keep your friends encouraged. Bev, again, thank you so much
You're
for being
welcome.
so
Thank you for
vulnerable
having
and
me.
honest
Yeah.
and sharing all of your ins and outs and of the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. All right, guys, that is it for our Friday the 13th. I hope this makes your Friday the 13th
Better.
And we will see you next week where we are kicking off our challenge. Get in our challenge. We can't wait to meet you guys and walk you through this journey just like we've seen Bev walk through. All right. So we will see you next time, Friday the 17th.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.